What's going on YouTube? Today's video, I'm going to tell you and show you how I turned $2,000 into almost 50 grand. And it's simpler than you think. Hey, what's up guys? So obviously today's video, I'm gonna go into detail about how I turned $2,000 into almost $50,000, okay? Now, if you're new to my channel, my name is Graylan Stewart. I'm a virtual wholesaler and entrepreneur. So my channel is mostly about wholesaling. I tell you the ins and outs of it and the full truth, no fluff, no pie in the sky, just the truth, the good, bad, and ugly, okay? But today, I'm gonna show you exactly how I did this deal. So it is a mobile home that I bought. So I'll go through like how I purchased it, how I determined the price, obviously, and then how I actually sold that property and how I ended up making almost 50 grand on it as well. Okay. So let's just dive into it. All right. So obviously through all the multiple streams that we do for marketing, we get all kinds of deals coming across our desk every single day. Okay. Now this deal, it came across through a Facebook lead. Okay. And this wasn't even a Facebook paid ad. Okay. Which is even crazier. So it makes the deal even better. So my cost of acquisition was really $0. Okay. So this came through. So occasionally I'll post on some of these local Facebook groups in some of the main targeted areas that I focus on. So we do wholesale nationwide, but we specifically target about 10 different metropolitan areas across the United States. Okay, so this one came across. So I posted in a local Facebook group to this area. Just that I'm looking to buy a house. Has anybody got anything? That kind of thing. So I got some responses, which I usually do. Sometimes they're just negative responses, or sometimes they're actually good things. So this one happened to be good. So somebody said, hey, I've got a mobile home. It's in this area. Here's the price I want, yada, yada, right? So I was like, okay. So I started looking into it a little bit deeper, looked into the area. I found the mobile home park that it was in. So that gives you that right there. It isn't a mobile home park. I know some mobile home investors only buy mobile homes on land. Some of them buy only mobile homes on parks, in parks, and some will do either. I'm not really picky. I don't really care. I'll do deals anywhere if it makes sense. Just like in one state, I own properties in, I think the last time I counted was 9 different counties in that area. Just because they're good deals, I don't want to pass up on them. So anyways, I got this deal on Facebook, okay, from a group. They direct messaged me on my personal Facebook account. So we went through the numbers after I researched, found the park that it's in. The park is a little bit run down, but it's a smaller park. It's only got 40 mobile homes in it. And so they were asking $5,000. So they told me it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's got gas and electric, which is pretty unique. Most mobile homes, parks these days, most of them have done away with gas, just because of the liability. You could blow something up, if you have a gas stove or a gas furnace. But anyways, this one has gas and electric. So I found out that the lot rent in this particular park is $225, okay? And I did my research, found out from the park manager that these people are current on their dues, because that's always key. You want to make sure that they're not behind, past due on it or anything. And then since it's a mobile home, that's treated like a regular vehicle, So it has a regular car tag, as opposed to, real estate has a deed, right? So this actually has car tags. So I have a friend at the local DMV, and I had them research this property, this car, if you will, the mobile home, because it does have a license plate. Just research it to make sure there's no liens, no balances owed, all that kind of stuff, right? So they researched it and they got back to me, in a few hours and said everything was good to go, and it was clear. So that was my cue to say, okay, this is a property that I can move on, okay? So I know it's free and clear. There's no liens. They're caught up on their lot rent. And their asking price was actually $5,000. So I was like, okay, can you tell me more about it? Obviously, we want to try to get what their motivation is. Why are they selling it? So their motivation, which is the condition, obviously, is probably most important. But motivation is pretty high up there. It might be number one or number two. Of course, their timeline to sell. How quickly do they need to get rid of this? And then their price. Okay. So I was able to get all these things. Okay. Their motivation was they bought this property, trying to remodel it themselves, hoping to move into it soon, and they just gave up on it. They ran out of money, and they also decided they're not going to move to that town after all. They're going to stick with where they're at. So they wanted to sell it fast just to recoup part of the money that they already put into it. Okay. Because I think they probably got it for around $5,000 themselves, but they probably put $1,000 into it and a bunch of sweat equity. So we got their motivation, we got their price because they already told me 5,000. Okay, their timeline, they wanted to sell now because they were sick of the headache. Because keep in mind they're paying lot rent in the meantime while they live in a house in a different town until they can get rid of this. So it's not just the $5,000 or so that they had into it, but it's also that $225 a month paying that they need to get rid of right now. So we've got the motivation, their price, their timeline, and then the condition. I asked them what the condition was. They said it was pretty good. They already started remodeling. Of course, it needed some, a little bit of work on the flooring in the kitchen that they didn't get to finish. And then, just paint, kind of touch-ups and that kind of thing. All the plumbing, electric work, the heater, the furnace heater, and the central AC, all that works and everything. So really, it was in decent shape. However, I said, can you get me some pictures and a walkthrough video? So after a few days went on, they were able to get me some pictures because they said, yeah, we'll be there this weekend. We'll get that done for you. So they sent me the pictures, just through my Facebook Messenger. I was able to look at them. There's a bunch of junk in this house, tons of stuff, in the bedrooms, in the living room, just all over the place. So I was like, I'll tell you what, I'll give you, I just told them straight up, I said, usually we get most mobile homes in this area for $1,500 or less, and that's the truth because I've gotten several in that area for $1,500 or so. But they were like, well, we can't do that, but we can go to 4,000. So we just negotiated back and forth for, a couple of hours, not constantly, but, they would reply after a little while of looking, I guess thinking it over or whatever. But anyways, we ended up landing finally on $2,000. Okay. So I did say, however, I'll do $2,000. I'll agree to that because I wanted to do $1,500. So I did come up a little bit. I said, I'll agree to $2,000 as long as you clean the house completely, broom swept and all, to where all the debris, trash, everything is gone from inside and out. I said, so not only do I want pictures proving that you did that, but I also want a walkthrough video. So, so what I did was I said, so we can go ahead and close. I can schedule you with my, with my closer and get it done. So we scheduled that. And I said, this hasn't been done yet. So we're actually going to give you $1,500 now. And we'll write a contract, an IOU kind of deal that just states that I'm going to give you $500 more once you show proof of a video and pictures that you actually cleaned it out like you said you would. So we gave him $1,500 up front. We went ahead and closed on the property, so I do own it. I'd owned it at that time. And then, a day later, she actually sent me that video and all the pictures showing, proving that it was actually clean. Because keep in mind, I've never seen this property, never been to this town in my life. So this was the only way I could do it. So they did send that, proved to me that they did what they're supposed to do. So I went ahead and wrote the other $500 and sent it in the mail and actually did a video of me, actually dropping it in the mailbox too, so that they knew that they were getting what I promised as well. So we both fulfill our obligation. Okay. So, so then now I've got a property, right? Now what do I do with it? I'm on the hook for $225 a month. So typically we remodel a property, because my goal is to keep this as a rental. Obviously we got it so cheap. And in this mobile home park area, I already kind of researched the rents. They were from $550 to $650, depending on if you had a 2 or 3 bedroom. Ours is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. So I figured, $550 would probably be fair. So what I did was, with those pictures that they took, I did this short description and put it on Facebook Marketplace. Of course, I have a rent-to-own website that people can go to kind of look at the properties that we offer and that kind of thing. So my goal was to rent to own it. You know, I don't want to be a landlord. I actually only have one tenant left in my portfolio. All the rest of my properties are rent to own. So, you know, everybody's strategy is different on that, but that's just kind of my goal. You know, and most of these houses are lower end houses. They're not super high end fancy houses. So I do have two that are vacant right now, and they're both pretty nice. So I would consider a renter if it's a really good renter. Plus, I fully remodeled both of them. So, but for the most part, you know, I just have rent to owns. So, anyways, Facebook Marketplace, did the description, put all the pictures on there, and then people just message me if they're interested. And I try to be sure, like, you know, serious inquiries only. I even put my website, check out the website before you decide, you know, all these things just so I don't get messages. But you still get a ton of messages. So I get messages, and I've just got a canned response that I copy and paste to people. Like, hey, if you're interested in this, please fill out this form. It's not an application, but it gives you more information, and then I have a link. So they go to that form, and then really all I have to do is copy and paste on there, and I don't really have any responses otherwise on Messenger. Then I just wait for the forms to come in, because that's really my pre-qualifier is kind of what I use it for. It just I just ask questions like, you know, where do you live now? How long have you been looking for a new place? Are you looking for a 2-bed, 3-bed, you know, 4-bed, whatever it is? Who besides you will live in the property? Because you always want to know how many people, you know. Do you need a property that's pet friendly? And then I give options like, okay, so home ownership obviously requires a down payment and then monthly payments. So from the following list, which one best suits your needs? So for this property, it was lower end. So I was like, I was willing to do like as low as $1,500 down on this deal. And, you know, my highest option, I think, was like $5,000 or something like that. So if it's $1,500 down, you know, we'll do $600 a month. Or if you can do $2,500 down, you know, it might be $550 per month. Or if you can do $5,000 down, maybe it's $525, something along those lines. So they fill that out. So it's a pre-qualifier. So I only have to reply to the people that I think are a good fit, you know, based on the answers that they give me. Okay. So I found someone finally. It didn't take real long, but, you know, just sifting through all the different forms. I mean, I probably have a total of 2 hours total in this entire deal. But it is over a few week, you know, time span. So, but I still haven't had to pay lot rent yet. I actually negotiated with the park owner himself that I wouldn't have to pay lot rent until June. So this is April right now. I've already got paid for May, so I'll get basically an extra $225 for May that I don't even have to pay for lot rent. Anyways, that's a side note. So I found someone on there. You know, I told them how rent to own works. So I was selling this property for $25,000 is what I was advertising, and I don't ever change the price. Nobody cares about the price when you're doing rent to owns. All they really care about is their monthly payment. Okay, so obviously this was enticing. It's, you know, I was advertising at $550 per month because that was based on, you know, like a $2,500 down payment or something. So I did find someone. You know, there wasn't a lot that I was comfortable with. You know, some people, you know, they don't have jobs at all. Obviously, I'm not taking that applicant when they can't even pay for it. So this one, you know, they had good income. They also had their mother co-signing for them. You know, they had her own income. So we obviously, all of my properties, I have people pay through cozy.co. That's cozy.co. That's just a management tool really to help you manage all your properties, and people pay online. That's the only way I accept payments. We don't do cash, check, credit card, none of that. They pay directly through Cozy. So anyways, I sent them the link. They passed the background checks, no issues at all. Credit wasn't great, which we don't really care about that a lot. As long as I can prove their income and they've had that steady income for a little while, I kind of can look past that, as long as there's not like a bunch of evictions or something crazy like that, in which they didn't have. So anyway, so I did find someone where they could do $2,500 down. I also required the first month up front. So the first month, you know, was $550 or so. And it's not exact because there's interest on these. So it's a 12-month, or it's a 12% interest rate over a 15-year note, which is 180 months. Okay, so all in all, I basically paid $2,000 for this property. Some closing costs, not much. I paid $50 for a notary, and I think it was like $13 to have it transferred into my name, the title. So it's pretty minimal. So I'm in it for just over $2,000 basically. I got $2,500 down, plus the first month, plus the $50 for closing and some miscellaneous. I ended up getting like $3,300 down on this deal. So I'm positive around $1,200 or so, give or take, just for them moving in. And then I'm going to get $550 per month for the next 180 months for 15 years. Okay, so amortized out over a 15-year schedule, that comes out to almost $49,000 that they're going to pay over 15 years, which is awesome. I don't ever want them to pay it off. Hopefully, in 10 years they decide they don't want it and they'll move. I mean, I don't know. But it's cool if they pay it off. In the meantime, I got 15 years of payments on a note that I created, so I have a mortgage and a promissory note both on this property. So it's great if they pay it off. I provided affordable housing for someone to actually own a property where they couldn't otherwise, okay? But also, it's helping my cash flow because I'm positive $325 a month after that lot rent, okay? $325 a month forever, for 15 years. And it could turn into forever because, just industry standards, something like 80 to 90% of people default on their rent-to-owns, whether you're doing lease option or actual owner finance. Why that number's so high, I have no clue. But, just like you and I, most people move every 4 to 5 years. Rent-to-own people are no different. They just get tired or want to move or change in scenery or whatever the case. So I guess that's probably why that high percentage rate of default is in place. That's just what it is, because 5 years from now they might say, hey, we're actually moving out of state or we're moving to a different town because of a job or whatever. Can you take this back? No problem. Sure. We'll take it back because all the money they pay is non-refundable. They're paying for rent to own. If they don't want it anymore, they can just move on for no penalty. So it's a win-win. They can just walk away, and then it's a win-win for me because I can get another person in there, a tenant buyer, willing to put another $2,500 or maybe more down, and then get that monthly payment again. So, long story short, here's what the numbers look like, and we'll put this up on screen. So my purchase price was $2,000. My rehab price was $0. Didn't put a penny into the property at all. And then my sales price was $25,000 with a 12% interest rate. Okay. And then, so the sales price with interest over that 15-year note is actually $49,000. And then my monthly cash flow is $325 per month because their payment's about $550. So cash flow every month is $325 per month, guaranteed mailbox money for at least 15 years. So hopefully that all makes sense to you. And this all came through from a lead, just from Facebook. So that's just one of the many marketing methods that we use. And that one's free. I didn't pay for that lead at all. I just simply put a post on Facebook and somebody replied to it. And I ended up turning $2,000 into $49,000. Okay. So it's pretty simple. It's not easy because you got to be consistent and do this deal every single day. That's what I do all day, every day. But you can definitely turn a lot of these small little deals into huge profits. And, this is profit over time. That's $325 every month. I mean, that's car payments for some people. I mean, whatever. That's a lot of money. And when you have multiple of these, that adds up over time. But also, since I have a note for $25,000, that also adds $25,000 to my net worth as well. So when banks look at my overall, personal financial statement and my business one, that just helps me get more loans for other deals to do. So if I wanted to get a loan for a $100,000 house, super simple. So really, that's really what it is. My end goal, obviously, is to hold property to make long-term cash flow. Okay. You got to have assets, and then those assets can pay for your lifestyle. So, but like I said, wholesaling I will never stop doing because that's what gives me the big paydays, the big ATM that I like to call it. Because the wholesale deals that we do, that funds all my fix and flips. It funds these little projects like this, my buy and hold deals, and it funds my remodeling costs as well. So wholesaling gives me that cash flow to do that, that active income, and then that passive income comes by deals just like this one. So hopefully that all made sense. Hopefully it's beneficial. Give me a thumbs up if you would. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate it. And subscribe if you haven't already. And drop me a comment if you like this video, or if you want me to see make any other videos that you have in mind. Or just let me know your thoughts on this deal. Should I have done things differently? Or what are your thoughts? Just let me know. Anyways, I hope to see you guys in future videos, and have a great day. See ya.